Hey guys, today in SAO Integral Factor, we are going to test this Sniping Arrow Sinon Skill. So this skill has a Reckless Courage 4 buff which says that it will increase the attack as the HP goes lower and the increased damage to the enemy by 1.1 for 12 seconds when you are using switch. But before we begin, please like, share and subscribe for more SAO Integral Factor content. So on this test, we'll be focusing more on the Reckless Courage 4. So the attack stats that we have here is 3970, as you can see in the stats there. So before we move further, I would like to say thank you to Zero, who has helped me with this test. Since I don't have this skill, but this skill is looks like a really good skill to test based on the descriptions there. Full throttle. Okay. So in the beginning, we're just going to test to see what's the damage that we can do with this stats at full HP, and we're going to use the normal attack, and then we'll take a look at the skill attack as well. Alright, so with this normal attack, looks like we're doing around 2000 damage to this boss, and this is before the buff. So as you can see there, I've did it quite a few more times there, and it's still doing the 2000s, around 2000 damage. And when I use this skill on a full HP, as you can see, and stop hitting critical, there you go. So it's still doing around 2000 damage because this skill is in effect when we have a lower HP, and since the HP that we have here is still at full HP, it doesn't do any damage increase. So we're going to go ahead and let the enemy do some damage to us so that the HP will go a little bit lower, and then we're going to see so we're using this buff again, and as you can see, the damage already increased by 200 points, or a little bit more than 200 points there. So this is we're not even a quarter HP down, and we'll go ahead and let this boss do a little bit more damage and see what happens with our stats. And as you can see, the attack stat stays at 3970 even if I use the buff, so we can't really see what the attack increase using that way. So what I do now is that I'll drop my HP to 1, and let's see what's the damage that we can do to the boss now. So this is doing around 3300, almost 3400 damage. And once the buff is gone again, it goes back to 2000s, as you can see there. So that's quite a lot of increase. But how much really is the attack that was increased by this skill here when the HP goes to 1 point? So in this test here, we're going to drop the attack to 1528, and we're also equipping the skill 4 with that Sinon skill that has like 370 something damage multiplier, so it's quite low. So we're just going to use that to test how the damage increase really works, if it is going to be like additional damage, or is it really increasing the attack stats of the players. So this time we're going to go ahead and attack the boss level 120. So, and as you can see, the normal attack here is doing around 850, 860 probably, and the skill attack is doing 5499. So let's take a look let's do a few more hits on the skill attack to make sure what's the average is around. And this time it's doing 5741. I'm going to take a look into it one more time before we drop our HP down. For 5474, so it's probably around 5600-ish. And we're going to drop our HP to 1, and And as you can see here, the HP is down to 1, and the normal attack is still at 860-ish. And let's take a look at what the skill damage is. This should be still around 5,000. Yeah, so it's still 5,471, so it's around that area. So let's use this Sinon buff skill now, and the normal attack is now doing 1,670-ish damage. Just like double the damage increase. And the skill is at 12,700. So it's doing more than double. So it does increase the attack of the player instead of just doing it as an additional damage, as you can see there. So let's do one more time, and the skill is 12,800 damage. It's a huge increase in there. And let's see how much attack do we need to actually get to that kind of damage. So after a long testing, so decided to go with the attack 3,529. Let's take a look how much damage do we do on the monster with this stats. So the normal attack is 1,674, 1,670-ish, and the skill attack is 12,790 something. So it's very close to, if not it's exactly the same with what we have when the HP down to 1 and the attack was at 1,528 last time. So it looks like it's increasing the attack by 2,000 points. Yeah, this is what you can see in there. That's quite crazy. 2,000 points. Even like the Ali's passive skill, it only increased the attack to 800 points. So this is like a lot more than double the increase that you get there. Okay, so now we're going to take a look into the second debuff, the second effect, which will give the debuff to the enemy, which will increase the damage by 1.1. And as you can see, the normal attack is doing 1,600 like before, and when we use the switch, now the normal attack is doing 2,800. So I don't really get how this is 1.1 increase, because that seems a lot more than 1.1 increase that we get in there. It looks to me that it increases the damage by around 75% from the normal attack here. So if you guys know how that 1.1 additional or the debuff works, just let me know in the comment below, and hopefully you can share that information with me. Okay, so as you can see here, if I just use the skill by itself, it doesn't increase any damage, so we can be sure that it is not the effect of the first skill that we tested there. And if I use the switch one more time, the skill effect now is doing 15,000 damage from the 12,800-ish. And the normal attack is doing 2,800, which is like a huge increase in there. So on the skill attack, it looks about right that it's increasing the damage by 0.1 or 10%, but on the normal attack, it increases a lot more. So again, if you guys know why it increases the normal attack by that much, let us know in the comment below, and hopefully you can share that information. Otherwise, we're probably gonna come back to test the skill effect again later on the next video. So to summarize, the Sniping Arrow Sinon skill is a really good skill to be used for increasing a player damage, since it can potentially give 2,000 attack buff and debuff to the enemy that increase everyone's damage by 1.1 times. The skill cooldown is like 2 seconds longer than the buff durations, so we can almost always have the buff on all the time. We need to keep the HP low to utilize the skill better, however. Since this is a bow skill, it should be easier to fight in low HP compared to all the other weapons. The skill animation is really quick, making it easier to dodge enemy attack. The skill have a really high damage and is an awakening skill with attack increase as the awakening effect. All in all, I think it is a really great skill. So that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time on the next SAO Integral Factor content. Bye now!